Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Josh McCallion and today I'm going to show you how I built this squat rack behind me. Now, this is quite a long video, it's a follow along, so if you want to skip to the necessary section, this is what we're going to be talking about. Firstly, we're going to talk about the design, the tools you'll need, the cutting and drilling process, then the assembly. I'm going to do a quick strength test, and at the very end I'll do a what I do differently section, because as I'm about to explain, I'm a bit of a novice. So firstly, I can't take credit for the design. I followed a video from a channel called Buff Dudes. It's a very well put together video. I'll leave a link in my description, and if you follow it along, you'll end up with something like this. But sometimes I feel it's easier to follow a novice if you're a novice yourself. So hopefully some of you can follow me along. I'll help you avoid the mistakes I made. And as I say, you'll end up with a piece of equipment that's fairly heavy duty, and you'll be able to do all your key compound movements from, including squat, military press, pull up, and bench press. So yeah, let's get into it. Design first. So you're gonna need 4 7-foot uprights in each corner. You're then gonna need 4 43-inch front to back cross struts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're then gonna need 3 41-inch side to side cross struts. 1, 2, and 3 at the rear. That one is obviously missing because that's where you enter the rack. You're then gonna need 14 of these diagonals, as I'm calling them. They're just structural braces, 10-inch along the long edge with angle brackets that sit in all the same corners. If you want safety bars, you're gonna need 2 5-foot tubes, black pipe or this galvanized metal that I've got, and the last thing you'll need are the flat plates, 4 that sit on top in each corner, and on our design, 4 that sit on the outside as not to damage the floor. Finally, you're going to need some plumbing stuff for these racking pins, but I'll explain that in detail later on. The tools you'll need: a drill, a screwdriver, and a saw. The last 2 can be hand tools, but if you can get power tools, it's much quicker. I used a chop saw with this, and it obviously sped up the cutting process a lot. You'll also need a fluted drill bit to drill these holes, and obviously you'll need to invest in one of those. I think they cost £8, but that's it.
Put your hand over the wood.
Yeah.
Hold the saw frame at the back.
Yeah.
So you're keeping it nice and tight against the square.
This 4x4 wood is slightly too thick for the chop saw that we've got, so when we've cut these, we've had to cut, spin, cut, spin, cut, spin to get the whole way through. Now we're doing the 45-degree angle, it's turning a little bit more difficult, but we should be able to figure it out.
Wood cut, and we have them all lined up here. Now we're going to use one of these things, which is a 3 fluted wood drill bit that's going to do a nice hole through it. So what we're going to do is drill 14 holes as per the video that we're following. We're going to do it over this bench because we have one, but obviously you can just do this on the floor with maybe some wood underneath or create some sort of gap. But what we're going to do is drill from one side half, flip it over, and drill from the other side half, so we can work on the markings that we've got, because we don't want to drill through it, as my dad's pointed out, find out on the other side it's really wonky. To get our holes right, we're doing 12 inches from the end, and then increments of 4.5 inches for each hole, 14 holes in total, this being the bottom. Gems from my dad's head. We're marking the center line, and we're doing more than 2 marks, so we know we're not at an angle. So we've lined up 3, 4 in fact, and they're all perfectly in line. Okay, across the line that we've already created. The master. I did a bad thing. I was just seeing if the drill worked, and now it hooked into it. I don't have to get this up. Hey.
It bites.
Yeah, it bites. That's gonna rip my finger off.
Let me just get this slab down. I'll be with you. Because the dog keeps. Look at this.
My dad keeps leveling this, and Hope doesn't care at all.
You will play with me. You're all right this way. Away from you a little bit.
What's going on?
It's just caught. No! Stop! If you do that and miss, you'll chew your wood up.
You can do what? I don't know what you mean.
If you try and put it in whilst it's spinning.
Oh, okay.
So he does the same. Stop!
Okay. I didn't know. You said you're doing the same. I didn't know what you meant.
No, out of it.
Which way?
This way. What bit of hold it can you not understand? What bit of hold it?
Wow. You're so good. I don't know for you.
Measure twice, cut once.
Right, first upright, first half done. Flip it. And meet in the middle. One down, as you can see, it does look really good. We're getting there. It's now night time. Well, it's 10 to 5 and it's this dark already, so we're hoping to get this done today, and then you'll catch us up tomorrow when we'll be putting it up at young Lillian's house. So I'll see you then. Nice one. Oh. Right, morning, we're at Lil's. Cuts all done, holes all drilled. Now, if you've seen the Buff Dude video, you go zhong, and it seems to take no time at all. That took us 6 hours yesterday, so just be wary that the drilling of the holes can take a lot longer than the video suggests. So what we've got, 14 diagonals, 4 struts that go front and back, top and bottom, and 3 cross struts. We've also got the safety bars, which are going to fit through the pipe, through the holes, sorry. We've got 8 flat plates, Simpson ties, 14 angle brackets, screws, square, and they're the caps which are going to hold the brackets, which I'll show you later. So the first thing we're going to do now is pull the sides down, put the front and back cross struts, top and bottom cross struts in, and do the other side, put it together, and then we'll do the rest. One thing I just want to explain, because it got recommended to me and I think it's of use, is let's say this was the top and it's going to stand up like this. Now, the angle brackets are an L shape, so you've got a short edge and a long edge. Now, what I've been recommended is to put the long edge down the upright with the pressure of the top cross strut on the small edge, so it looked like that. Now, I'm not entirely sure why, but in kind of my logic of it, I guess it's got to do with putting pressure on a bigger lever. So if there's more pressure across this flat surface, there's more pressure on the angle. I'm not entirely sure, but that's kind of why I think people have told me to do it that way. But yeah, they do it like this. Okay, to square it up and to make sure it's all in the middle, what we're gonna do, obviously this is gonna go there. What we're gonna do is twist that, measure the middle, which we already know is 48, mark that point, this is rough, and then use the center hole to put that on. That should be perfectly in the middle. And then obviously once you twist, it'll be in the perfect middle of this one as well. Because I have a wonderful little helper, I'm able to stand it on the last one we need to connect, just while we get it all lined up and screw. Right, all the brackets are done. Now we're going to install these flat plates. Now what I'm going to do is count 4 holes on the upright, leaving 5 holes across the bottom. Now it doesn't really matter, but if you make it uniform, that's the best way to do it. As you can see, there's like a nasty nail. I don't know how they've dealt with it, but ours is going on a wood floor, so we don't really want that on the bottom, so I've put the plate on the outside at the bottom, and then on the top, obviously, it can just go straight on top. Okay, so this one has a little gap there, so what I'm going to do is get a lil to push it, and it should, with a bit of resistance at the bottom, yeah, hold it there. So these don't run out of battery, do they? These don't run out of battery. So once we've got this position, what we're going to do is put the diagonals on. Now that's going to sit like so. And what we're going to do first is drill a pilot hole through there, because we don't want to split the wood. I'm going to keep it fairly accurate, but not like worry about it too badly. Okay, so diagonals in, I'm going to pick it up just to have a little look what it looks like at present. Feels pretty solid, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, even that alone feels pretty solid, so you can imagine what it's going to be like when it's all up, but yeah. Woo! Right, now I'm going to do the other side. It's going to be the exact same, so skip to when both sides are up. Let's go with the
first time kind of understanding how big it's going to be in the room. Pretty happy with that. I put the bars in just to see what it looks like. Now the next job is to get these cross struts put in, one at the front top, and rear bottom. Okay, so I've marked the wood center line and measured where the wood is going to sit, and then I'm going to call a friend to back this up, because obviously you're going to be drilling into it and you don't want it to fall. Alternatively, if you don't have a friend, just put it against the wall. You're not going to be drilling through it, so it shouldn't be a problem. Now, when you put the brackets on, one of the things on the Buff Dude's video he says to do is put one screw in at one side, and then that gives you the ability to level the bracket once the wood is sitting on top. Now that's a really clever thing to do, and it's something that you wouldn't really think about. I certainly didn't until you have a go making something like this, but obviously he's got a lot of experience and it makes perfect sense. Yeah. Yeah. How didn't I see that happening? Lil, can you come here a sec?
How did you do that?
Like the whole thing.
If you need to, just...
Yeah, I know, I should have called you properly. And then I'm gonna call a friend to back this up, because obviously you're gonna be drilling into it and you don't want it to fall. Alternatively, if you don't have a friend, just put it against the wall.
Ask someone to help you or put it against the wall. That is not what you want to do. I've got very lucky there.
Okay, so what I've realised is when getting this one in, if you have the bottom strut across, it'll make sure it's all square, which is really important. Getting this last one square is proving very difficult when you hold it together like that. So these two pieces, it's a bit of a weird, but yeah. Right, when doing these ones, good evening by the way, you might have noticed I'm in different attires because I had to leave it last night because I was getting mad. But when I do things like this, I realise that I have unresolved anger issues, but I think that's because of my lack of experience, so hopefully that can help some of you who aren't as kind of skilled as the guy whose video I've based this off. So what he says is when you're doing these top bits, to line them up, you're going to have to pull this while pushing this, while screwing in. Now, you need a lot of hands for that, so if you don't have help, that can be really difficult. But he is right in that you need to pull this to make sure this lines up. But obviously doing this without a magnetic drill bit on the end of your drill, that can be really difficult. So I'm going to show you me doing it as best as possible, because not everyone's going to have someone who they can call on to help them out. See, what it means is resting this... I'm honestly going to... No, we're not angry. We're not angry. We're not angry. Why would we be angry? There's so much to be happy about. If anyone's watching this who is good at woodwork and it tells me how I could do this more easily. Okay, so cross strut at the top, both in. Now, I need to do the rear one, but because I'm not on a flat surface, it's a bit difficult to know where, if it's kind of flush with the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is tilt it forward, and it'll give me a better access to get to that. But before I do that, I'm gonna put in these angles, these diagonals, because I want it to, there's going to be some flex when we move it, and I want it to be as structurally kind of integral as possible. So what we're going to do is put these in and then tilt it forward. Now I'm just going to do these last two at the back. All diagonals are in now, apart from the rear two. Now this needs to be done quite carefully, obviously. Oh God. Okay, so you can see why I wanted to add the diagonals in. There was a lot of flex in there. Ooh. So the tightness of it all now is actually going to hold this piece into place while I position it. Stay in position, please. So again, pulling on it to make sure it all lines up square. It is difficult on your own. It is difficult. That's nice. That's nice. Now I'm going to flip it back up. Right, that is the build done. And the last you'll be seeing of this little thing. Right, assembly complete. Well done if you've got to this stage, if you're following along. The next few bits are really going to be quite easy compared to what we've already done. Now, as you can see, I have a little sponge. Because what we're going to do now is number 1 to 14 these holes, front and back. So when we put in the safety bars, we know that they're flat, we know that they're parallel, we know that they're safe, because it's important to be safe. I know, I've swapped to a brush. Okay, so I just want to explain the racking pins because that's plumbing jargon I didn't understand and I want to help you all out. So the first thing you're going to need is your hexagonal cap. You're then going to need to grab your 6-inch mild steel pre-cut tube and screw that onto there. You're then going to need your female socket threaded inside and screw that onto there as so. You're then going to need to grab your barrel nipple, which looks like that, threaded again at both ends. Screw that on, and then you're going to need your screwed flange, which looks like this, and screw that onto there. And that is your pin complete. So this is how it works. Now, if you just unscrew the cap, that's the best way to do it. And then if you follow me to the back, slide it through the hole, screw the cap on, make sure it's all tight. Hand tightening is fine. If you wanted it tighter, you can use tools. And that is your pin. So this is quite an awkward angle. There you go, solid as you like. Okay, so that's the pins on. Now I want to do a quick strength test because I've been posting this on Instagram for about 2 weeks and it appears nobody trusts wood. So these are all the weights that I have. We have 5, 10, 30, 45, 55, 60, 62.5. So that's 125 plus bar, 145, and then I have 16 kg per side of kettlebells hanging off. That's another 32, so that's 177. Seems to be absolutely fine. I'm 80 kg. Absolutely no problems at all. So that is 257 hanging off the bar, hanging off the rack, no problem at all. Guys, wood is very strong. Now cut to the section where I'm going to talk about the things I do differently. So, a few things, but nothing major. The first thing, I got the size of the angle bracket slightly wrong. That means the diagonal doesn't sit flush with the cross strut or the upright. In terms of strength, that makes very little difference, but in terms of aesthetic, it's not bang on. So if you use the same measurements we do, the 10-inch diagonal, the gap there is no more than kind of 4.5 centimeters. So your angle brackets need to be 4 centimeters by 4 centimeters, don't go too big. Secondly, is the butchery of some of these holes. Again, it's only aesthetic, but it can be avoided. So the fluted drill bit, because it's spike at the end, if you try and push it into the hole while it's spinning, you won't get it bang on, and it will effectively grip anything that's nearby and butcher the wood. A way of avoiding that, as you saw by my dad trying to tell me, stop it from spinning or wait till it stops spinning, put it onto the hole, start the drill up. Alternatively, if you have a more powerful drill, you should just be able to go straight through the hole as opposed to kind of pulling it out, starting again, which we had to do. Thirdly, get someone to back this up if you're drilling against it. This fell. Now, we got very, very lucky. It didn't actually do really any major damage, but these are heavy, so it really can. So yeah, just a really basic one for health and safety. If nothing else, get someone to back this up or put it against a wall. So there are only 3 mistakes. I'm a complete kind of woodwork novice, and I only made 3 mistakes. I'm so happy with how this turned out, so hopefully if you followed along, you've ended up with something that you're also really happy with. I saw the Buff Dudes video where they reviewed theirs after 6 years and it looked absolutely fine. I'll do something similar because I plan on looking after this and it should last. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you followed along, hopefully you're doing all right. If not, maybe rewind and watch a few things over and over. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. I've got loads of different videos flying around, a bit random at the moment. Vlogs that I'm uploading 1 per day for the next 18 days. And then I've got some really cool projects coming in 2021. So I will see you all soon.